Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Um, it's sad we're not together yet, but hopefully next year. I hope you're all well and vaccinated, so that we could see each other again. Um, so I wanted to quickly speak about monologues. I know we've talked about this a lot. You guys have been handing in fabulous work. Thank you so much for your character Bibles and for your self and peer assessment. It went really well. Very impressed. Love the character Bibles. So obviously you guys know in drama I like that the bulk of the work is activity based. You guys do stuff, but sometimes I do need to speak to you guys kind of in a lecture to give you some feedback and some guidance. But thus far it's been going really well. You guys have done beautiful character Bibles. You can be so proud. Thus far I'm still in the middle of marking, but it's been going really well. You guys have submitted some excellent stuff. So, important when you are, so this final practical thing, I've decided to let this be your final practical because I know I share you guys with another subject, so I don't want to overload you. So you guys are going to be doing this for your final practicals. You're going to be submitting your script, and you're going to be submitting the script of your monologue, and you're going to be performing your monologue. So we've been working up to this monologue. You guys had character Bibles, you guys had to fill in some forms, you had to watch a whole bunch of monologues. So we've been working towards this. You guys are more than ready for this. Okay, so some feedback from the character Bibles that I thought I'd give you guys is a lot of you guys had these amazingly inspiring characters from your neighborhoods, which is amazing. I loved it. I had some tears when I was reading it. But I want you guys to remember that the thing we're looking for is something you can emulate. So I'm looking for, think when you guys are writing this, for little ticks. And what I mean by a tick is, do you guys know how some people, when they're speaking, they'll be, they'll have a tick. We call that a tick. Or they'll keep touching themselves like that in a certain way, or they'll have a little thing that makes them unique. I want to see in your monologue, can you go from being Marina to being someone else? That's my most important thing. And how do I measure that? I look at your voice. Is your voice changing, or is it staying the same? Is your movement changing, or is it staying the same? And your interpretation, so your kind of the tone of who you are, is it changing? If you are doing someone incredibly close to yourself, that's not funny, that doesn't have a tick, I can't really measure those things. So for this, the reason I'm wanting you guys to do comedy is because I want you guys to push yourself in terms of humor and in terms of ticks. So doing things that are a little bit away from yourself. So what I'm a little bit just wanting to warn you guys maybe about is, just because a character is inspirational and definitely interesting, it doesn't mean there's that much to work with in terms of characterization. And the main thing I'm wanting to measure when I'm looking at this is, can you use characterization? Can you interview someone, take kind of the essence of who they are, not exactly who they are, kind of the essence, refine that and make it into a different character. So that's what I'm wanting you guys to do. Please remember to focus on characterization, changing your voice. I know sometimes we feel, it's a little bit extra, it's not feeling very natural. I rather want to see unnaturalness and extraness than a very safe performance, saying something nice. I want you guys to really push yourselves, see if you can be someone else. Now, second thing I have to say, very important. When you're doing your monologue, make sure that the character is not reading or performing a biography. I don't want them to tell me what's happened in their life necessarily. I want that biography to come through. I think it's going to stop now. Sorry guys, I'm holding my mic. I'll quickly get my charger. usually prepared for this. Okay, so incredibly important. I don't just want your character to tell me, I was a teacher, I was this, I was that. You need to find a situation where your character can say some of these things. And they don't have to say their whole backstory, just the interesting parts. So, for instance, you have someone who has horrible story, but it's a very good monologue that I know of. And it's this lady, she's killed her children, basically. It's a horrible story. But the monologue is she's sitting there, she's speaking to the audience, and after a while you realize she's sitting there as a prisoner in jail, and she's speaking to probably her lawyer or the policeman interrogating her, explaining why she did what she did. What makes it a good monologue is the character isn't just randomly telling their story. There's a reason for it. It also keeps the audience on their toes. They don't know why, why is she there? Don't give everything away in the first 5 minutes. First, make us curious. So write it almost like, I don't know if you guys read detective stories, but don't give everything away. First, you can just make us curious. Why is, for instance, and use contrast. So for instance, if you guys had to choose your settings, if you chose for a very rich person to be in a very poor area, don't immediately tell us why. Like, make us guess a little bit. Why is this person there? So you can first start talking, or if it's maybe a very poor person in a rich area, or a very old person in a club, or if that makes sense. So think of ways to keep the audience interested in your monologue. A monologue is a very difficult thing to write because a monologue is something that there's no action, there's no person speaking. So you have to create all of the action through this one person. So it's very important that you realize where the person is, as you've done in your self and peer evaluations, which is brilliant, why they're there, etc. So don't forget those things, the hard work that you guys have done. You've got a good solid foundation. Build your monologue around those things that you've set up. Don't just have someone sitting on a bench telling me their autobiography. That is not a good monologue. A good monologue is where there's an interesting situation in which they could talk about something or someone or whatever. So please go back to those videos I posted about examples of good monologues. Really look at that. Look at how the actors are changing their voices, changing their who they are. Now, I know in second year we focused a lot on you guys performing and not necessarily on the kids. The reason for this is that I know a lot of our group did not have drama in school. So I'm always wanting to give you guys a positive experience of drama before jumping into teaching drama. So if you guys are going on next year, we'll definitely be focusing a little bit more on the teaching of it. But it's important that you guys have this experience. And please remember always that whatever I teach you, usually you can adapt for kids. So you can tell them, go interview, and then I want you to come and sit here and talk to me as if you're your mommy, that they do their own little monologue. Even if it's grade 1, 2, grade 3, you can have quite a sophisticated monologue. So this can again be adapted for that. Okay, so I am going to challenge you guys and say that I want it to be filmed in the setting that you guys are saying you're going to do. Be creative. Be very creative. You can tell me there, this is where I am. But really try and see whether you can make it so that the audience can guess where you are, or we can see where you are. Obviously, don't have your crazy good camcorder stolen on a train station or something like that. Don't put yourselves in danger, but be creative with your setting and where your character is. Obviously, it's not a dialogue, so it's just one person speaking, and you have to find devices and ways of making that make sense, because actually a monologue is not very natural. It doesn't make sense just kind of speak like I am. What I'm doing at the moment, like a YouTuber, not that I'm a YouTuber, but like a lecturer, that's actually also an interesting monologue. Okay? I spoke to you guys last week about this, and I know you guys have asked a lot of questions, made a lot of comments, and then usually there's like no comments. So that type of thing, and then we're guessing like what happened, and then she's like, I have to do a confessional, you know, and then the person goes into it. So a YouTuber is an interesting scenario because that is a person. Think of places and ways where it's natural and where it would make sense for one person to keep on speaking, like I am doing at the moment. So yes. Sure guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to see you guys in person again and to just teach drama like it's supposed to be taught, not like this. But I really hope you've learned something about yourselves, and I can really see you've learned something about the community through these activities. So I'm very grateful for you guys following along and doing it with excellence despite us not being able to see each other. I hope you have a wonderful week and best of luck with this thing. I'm going to give you guys quite a lot of time so that you can really polish your filming, so that you can learn your script, so that your script is the same as your video. Yes, have a good